We'll now call this meeting to order, and we'll do a moment of silence.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, Mrs. Franks.
Mayor Kindle.
Present.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Present.
Councilman Jenny.
Here.
Councilwoman LaPrat. Present. Councilwoman Sawicki.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Present.
Councilman Toussaint.
Present.
Acting City Manager Szymanski.
Here.
City Attorney DeWally.
Here.
All right, that takes us to the presentation by the Grosse Pointe Public Library. And with you, Greg and colleague. Okay.
Well, good afternoon, Honorable Harper Woods City Council. My name is Greg Bowens, and I am your representative on the on the Grosse Pointe Public Library System, trustee appointed there by you, and I appreciate the opportunity to be with you here today with Jessica Kaiser. She is the director of the Grosse Pointe Library System, and we're going to give you a brief presentation about what we've been doing for the last year or so and take any questions that you may have. So we'll start with the highlights of 2024, and we're going to talk about Wayne State University scholarships, our Central AIA Award, our website accessibility program. We're going to talk about meeting the community needs, challenges, and our strong financial results. And so I will start it off here, if I can get this pointed or work right. Pointing. There we go.
Work.
All right, the Grosse Pointe Public Library, our year in review. Told you who I am. Do what? Oh, yeah. All right, our Wayne State scholarships are supported by the Library Foundation, and we have the Vivian McDonald and GPLF Endowed Scholarship, and we provide funding for a Wayne State University intern. I don't know why this doesn't want to work for me. All right, and we have our website accessibility program. It's called Recite Me Assistive Technology. It reads the website text aloud. It'll change the font size and color, translate into 100+ languages, and access the dictionary and thesaurus. And then our Central Library, it won a AIA award. The Quinn Evans wins AIA Huron Valley Chapter 2025 Honor Award. That's the Central Library over by Grosse Pointe South. And then our scholarships, we talked about this. I don't know why is it repeated?
You know, I'll advance it for you.
Okay, advance. Keep going. All right, and Jessica's gonna tell you about meeting the community needs.
All right, we just highlighted some statistics from our annual report. We've circulated over 737,000 items in the 2024 fiscal year, which included 313,400 ebooks, audiobooks, and movie downloads. So a lot of our circulation, almost half now, is actually digital. And we had 355,200 people visiting our website this year and over 400,000 people logging into the library Wi-Fi. And we just wanted to point out that the part of Harper Woods that's in the school district is part of our library district. So anybody in the district is eligible for a library card. And then we also honor Harper Woods public library cards. And you're welcome at all 3 branches for that. So some ways we've been meeting the community needs. Summer reading is huge for us, and we do summer reading for all ages. We really focus on students because there has been a lot of research showing that kids will lose up to 2 months of reading progress over the summer if they don't read while they're not in school. So we really try to make it fun to read and have different incentives and programs around that. In November, we did a lot of fun dinosaur things with a Dino-Vember theme. We had an author, Jessica Nabango, come in, and we had several hundred people come for that. She wrote the book, The Catch Me If You Can, and she traveled to every country in the world recognized by the United Nations. That was a really exciting talk. And we had great response from Library Card Sign-Up Month this September. We're continuing our national author programs. So in the spring, we had Books on the Lake with Bonnie Jo Campbell and Brendan Slocum. And in the fall, we had Authors to the Point with David Gran, who wrote Killers of the Flower Moon. Some challenges you may have read in the news. There was some miscommunication or misappropriation with penal fines in Wayne County. So we're working with the county. Some libraries were overpaid and some were underpaid. Grosse Pointe was an underpaid library, so we're working with the county to rectify that. And then another big challenge on the horizon is the elimination of the IMLS. That's the only source of federal funding for libraries. And if that is eliminated, that eliminates our statewide interlibrary loan program called MELCAT. And it would also eliminate the mel.org service, which is a lot of databases and electronic resources that residents throughout the state of Michigan rely upon. Our budget balanced with our income and revenue for the year. We were at $7.7 million for both, and we approved a 5-year union contract. We have 2 unions among our staff, one for librarians and one for support staff, and we had an unmodified audit opinion. Just to break down our budget a little bit more, our revenues are about 92% property tax funded through 2 millages, and the rest is some state aid, fundraising, and penal fines. And then the biggest expenditure we have is staff and benefits, which is common for a library or service organization. And then other categories are books and materials, supplies, and we do have debt service for our building expenses. And with that, we'd be happy to take any questions.
Yes, when you were saying the challenges, if we lost that federal funding, what happened? Could you repeat that again?
We will lose the MELCAT program, which is the statewide interlibrary loan, and we would also lose databases that are provided through the Library of Michigan on the mel.org website. So for Grosse Pointe Public Library, our patrons last year borrowed about 14,000 items through MELCAT, and those are all materials that were not available in our catalog, but they were able to borrow them from libraries throughout the state.
Are there any further questions?
Harperwood's residents that don't live in the Grosse Pointe Public School System, and if people don't know, people that live in the Grosse Pointe Public School System pay 2 library taxes, not 1. So, but for our residents that live just in the Harperwood system, can they come in and use full services of the library, or?
Yes, they would just bring in their Harperwoods card, and we would enter them into our system.
Yes.
Yeah, just 2 questions for you. You said there was 3 libraries, so it's Harperwoods, Grosse Pointe, and?
Well, actually, the Harperwoods Public Library is its own entity, and then we have 3 branches. One is in Grosse Pointe Woods at Mack and Vernier. One is in Grosse Pointe Farms on Kercheval, and the other is the Ewald branch in Grosse Pointe Park on Jefferson and Alter.
Okay. Then my second question, I was looking at your revenues. I see 92% is the property taxes, right?
Yes.
So that's really local revenue?
Yes.
No? Okay, Ivory, did you have another question?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, I thank you very much, and for everyone to understand, Greg is our Harper Woods representative on the board for the library, and I thank you very much for making the presentation. I don't think I've ever had a presentation from the library to our council, so I appreciate you reaching out to us and setting this up. And thank you very much for your service. Alrighty. So that takes us to approval of minutes. I need a motion.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the motion to accept, receive, and file the minutes of the regular city council meeting held April 7th, 2025, and to receive and file the minutes of the beautification commission meeting held March 3rd, 2025.
Support.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Let's take us to public comment on agenda items only. If you have some question about anything that is on the agenda, now's your time to step up to the mic, identify yourself, and give us your question. Seeing none, that takes us to the consent agenda.
Madam Mayor?
I need a resolution.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 5, and with the fifth item being appointments to boards and commissions. The appointments from the interviews that we had a couple weeks ago would be Andrew Seibert to the library board for a
Andrew's
5-year
here.
term. Andrew, there's Andrew. And he also showed us some cool stuff he made with the 3D printer. He does some programs over at the library with the kids. Darius Bryant is here. Now there's a Darius
there.
back there for
Hey,
the Recreation
Darius.
Advisory Board for
Okay.
a 3-year term. He had all kinds of experience.
I saw it.
Yeah, tons of experience. So hopefully that experience will benefit our city as well. And Wendy Cody, is she here? And there's
There's
Wendy
Wendy.
Cody for the Beautification Commission for a 4-year term.
Yeah.
So everybody that applied was really great, but our focus was on getting some new people and that were, not as involved in the community, and we wanted to expand our possibilities with new ideas from new people, I guess is the main point there, but we're really excited about that. Yeah,
I think you need a support.
Okay.
I need to support you.
You support? Okay.
Discussion.
All right, and any discussion?
Madam
I guess,
Mayor? Oh.
yes.
I have one question, and that comes from the accounts payable listing. On page, it's our overall page 17, or also, it would be page 5 out of 6 of that particular section. And I'm trying to open up my page 17, it's not going. It is check number 132446 to Rondo Investment for what I can read as UB receipt refund, and I didn't understand what that was about, and so I thought maybe the city manager has.
That's a utility bill refund.
Okay, is that it's this investment company, I take it? The check is going to an
Maria?
investor?
Yeah, property
Oh,
management
okay,
company.
all right, that makes sense. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Councilwoman Costantino?
Yes.
Councilman Jenny?
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki?
Yes.
Councilman Tucson?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Kindle?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, that takes us to old business, and we have none. New business, city managers report.
Okay, Mayor and Council, I wanted to say that on item G1 and 2, I believe that on our last minutes we said that we would have the public hearing and adopt the resolution on the May 5th and May 19th meeting. These are a little premature. We're like one meeting, I want to say, fast beforehand. And all we would need, I believe, is a motion to remove these two items from the agenda and place them on the May 5th and the May 19th city council meetings.
Madam Mayor.
Yes,
Either one.
Mayor.
Then I'll offer the motion to move these two items to the May 5th reading, which is the first public hearing, and the May 19th meeting, which would be the public hearing and adoption.
Support.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank?
It's a motion.
Oh, it's a motion, that's right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item G3, adopt a resolution, financial transaction device payments. Mayor and council, our auditors have brought to our attention that a governing body of a local unit shall adopt a resolution authorizing the acceptance of payments by a financial transaction device. Since the city has recently added payment of taxes by individual cell phone programs, we must comply with Michigan compiled law, MCL Section 129.223. Adopting this resolution will ensure compliance with state laws governing financial transaction devices. I recommend approval of this request. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Which one? Okay. I offer by resolution to adopt the attached resolution authorizing the acceptance of payments by financial transaction device in compliance with MCL Section 129.223.
Support.
Any questions?
Who support?
Jerry.
Oh, Jerry did, okay. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
when we approve using these devices, that means we'll start taking American Express and credit cards, or I mean, I'm
Well,
not sure.
what's happened is on our, as you could probably remember a few years back, we have an app where you could pay your water bill on your cell phone. We've expanded the functionality to include payment of taxes. And because of that, we just have to ensure that we're in compliance with the state of Michigan regulations that govern these type of things. So that's all this does.
Oh, okay, so it's not saying I can pay with my American Express. or my-
You can pay your water bill at the liquor store if you don't have a charge card.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks?
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, item G4, adopt policy to provide accommodations to disabled persons. Mayor and council, attaches a memorandum from the city attorney with regards to providing accommodations to disabled persons at city council meetings. I have prepared the draft policy based on the comments provided by her for your discussion, comments and any revisions you see fit. It is my recommendation that a policy be approved to provide for these accommodations. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Make the resolution to adopt the attached policy to provide accommodations to disabled persons at city council meetings.
Support.
Okay, discussion.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
by accommodating, I know it's kind of written here a little bit. Can the city manager kind of expound a little bit so the audience will kind of understand what
Okay,
means?
well, it's to provide accommodations for disabled people. I want to say that City Hall is ADA compliant. We do have wheelchair access. However, we don't have a formal policy in place. Until now, we have been asked to provide accommodations, I want to say, in the way of either in person or virtual. And there was an opinion I believe, by the Attorney General. And Sharon, you may want to expound on this a little bit more.
Thank you, John.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. The AG opinion might be binding on the state, but it's not binding on municipalities. It gives
Right.
us some guidance, but even the AG opinion said it's on a case-by-case basis. There's certain other matters that you have to consider, whether the municipality has the ability financially configured within their building. I mean, Harper Woods is quite old. Do we have the ability to provide certain accesses? So the AG opinion, while it's, it covered phone-in, if somebody could phone in, which I think is, quite frankly, not the best idea. That's why, in my opinion, I drafted was to have a write-in if somebody has a question, or a comment, actually, because we don't take questions, we only do comments. They have a public comment, they could submit their comment. I had suggested, but this is for council to determine, I had suggested a dedicated email site so that we could ensure the security, not only of the city information, but of the individual's information who may be submitting a comment, and if as a dedicated email site, it wouldn't get accidentally overlooked, which could be possible because everybody here in the city is doing 3, 4, 5 jobs, and that could happen. As to actually having some remote attendance, that's beyond my pay grade to comment. I don't know that we have the technical ability to provide that, or if we have the financial ability to provide that. And if we do not, then you don't have to do it per se. You try to accommodate if it's possible.
And I'd like to add one other comment. Some of the bigger cities, like Warren, Sterling Heights, they have media centers
Right.
that handle things like this. We don't have those kind of accommodations, nor could we afford staffing just for that particular purpose.
We'll make every reasonable effort, I believe, and they can always contact the clerk. Leslie, I'm sorry to throw you under the bus there, but they can always contact the clerk and say they need an accommodation within a reasonable amount of time and a reasonable accommodation, even if that's coming to the meeting. If there's a physical, I need a little assistance with something, certainly the city would try and make every effort to get that person accommodated so they could attend in person.
Yes.
Madam Mayor, question. I know that this draft policy, to me, it seems reasonable. A 72-hour advance notice of someone who may need assistance. I take it that is assistance getting into the building or assistance attending the meeting live. And then it says, for persons who are disabled and the disability prevents in-person attendance. So a method for them to submit their comment, which I assume would be read aloud during the meeting in there?
Correct.
Okay. Now, as for attendance at a meeting live, I assume that would require us to do something like a Zoom meeting?
Exactly, and that's what John was alluding to,
Right,
is
we
that
can't afford
the city would have to implement some sort of media center that was secure, that would allow people to attend. As far as I know, we don't have that right now. I don't know that we're capable of doing that right now. And financially, I don't know that we're capable right now. And that's two of the issues that are raised when you're looking at an accommodation and measuring whether it's reasonable. If you don't have the finances to do it, if you don't have the technology to do it, then it's not reasonable to ask somebody to do that.
Now, I know that we videotape our meetings, and sometimes the videotape is a little off or whatever, I'm not casting aspersions on on Mr. Gray, but my curiosity is whether we have the ability to go live with our video, videotaping capabilities? In other words, can we go live on our website?
It's
I
at a
don't
cost.
know, there's a cost to everything, and like I said, you know, if it comes down to having a media center for this purpose, or hiring, you know, police officers on the street, the priority is the police officers.
I totally get that. I'm just curious as to, you know, under our current system, whether we are physically capable, you know, without doing the media center, with just having us somehow. I'm just curious. I know some cities broadcast their meetings live. I just don't know if we'd have the bandwidth, if we'd have the capability of doing that on our website. And I guess that would be the next step. I'd certainly be curious to find out what it might cost for us to be able to do that. And it might, I don't know if that's something that we'd be able to look into. I see that this method of someone being able to submit their comments at a live meeting fulfills the desire of someone to, you know, participate by giving a comment at a meeting. I just would be curious to be able to find out what it might cost the city to be able to broadcast our meetings on our, you know, website.
Yes.
Just to kind of piggyback a little bit on what you're saying, Councilwoman Suwiki, I mean, like, I think of like Zoom meetings are done so easily from home and stuff, and it's just like, to me, it just seems like that could be some sort of an inexpensive method, but I'm not saying it can be, but I just kind of want to comment on something like that.
Well, I would like to add, during COVID-19.
Right, we had no
Okay, we
funds.
had nothing but Zoom meetings, but
Right.
now we have live attendance, and to coordinate all that requires special skills and technical abilities, and again, I would not know what's involved there. I mean, we'd have to, you know, reach out and actually, you know, seek out people like that and what that cost would be. We don't have any kind of figures on that right now.
And right now, we are able to accommodate anyone with any disability. If you would like to, all you have to simply do is contact the clerk's office if you have a concern from after reading the agenda. And remember, during the COVID, there was extra monies that allowed us to be able to do Zoom. We don't have that monies anymore.
And if I may, Your Honor, you can adopt a policy, and should we come across a bucket of money somewhere, should we discover some technology that can be utilized, you know, after we perhaps look at it, you can, you know,
Revisit this.
tailor the policy towards that. But as of now, I think the best course of action is to at least get the policy written down and get at least the ability to have folks submit written comments that can be read. At least get that in place. And we can always move on from that once we discover if we have the ability to do it.
All right,
Madam Mayor?
thank you.
You're Jerry.
Okay, Jerry?
Okay, so they would need, to submit via email a question, or not a question, their statement.
A
up to
comment.
their comment up to 3 minutes, and one of us, or the clerk, someone in the room would read their comment, but they would need to submit it by 10 a.m. the day of our meetings, correct? Is
Correct.
that what we're agreeing
Correct.
upon?
That was my suggestion. You can always change it, but that was my suggestion. 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. the day of the meeting, in order to give us time to make sure that, you know, Leslie's got to get this stuff together.
Right.
And to have it together in time to get it to the meeting.
I'm not aware of any of the gross points that have live meetings.
Right.
They all do it the exact same way. They do it
Right.
via YouTube. The only one that does live meetings is the school district. And I'm well aware of how they do it because my sons were employees of the school district and were on the tech crew. It involves, they have three people doing the meetings. This includes, so one person's running a soundboard, one person's running the cameras, and another person is, I don't know, they're doing something else. So there would be, in order to stream these live meetings, and all you can do from home is watch the meeting. If you cannot submit a question. If you want to ask a question, you need to physically be there. That's how their policy is right now. I know that, so some of those meetings run 4 or 5 hours, 3 people at, anywhere from probably $18 to $30 some an hour. That's a lot of money to accommodate, and we can get people here, and I think it's reasonable to take their question by 10 a.m. or their comment and read it out loud and to make sure that everyone in the city is being heard.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
to piggyback off of what Jerry said, I went to a recent school board meeting for Detroit, and their meetings was broadcast live. It looked very nice. It worked out real well. I mean, we probably can't do it here because we're so small and we don't have all the availability to do that. But I mean, in the future, way down the road somewhere, it would be nice to just bring everything up to, to 2025 technology, bring things up. Because it did work out real well at the school board meeting. They were broadcast live. They did have a comment section, and they had a time when people could make comments through their laptop or whatever, and then they had a cutoff time. And then they did read the comments or had that person comment, during the regular comment section. And the person didn't actually have to be in attendance, but they were watching it on video and then commenting. But it did work out real well, and it accommodated for anybody who wasn't able to come to the meeting. So, like I said, we might not be able to do it right now, but maybe in the future, we should probably think about that, just to bring things up into the modern technology world.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'm curious, because we were talking about having a dedicated email system, whatever. One of the things that I think is important is that the public who attends our meetings know that they have to identify themselves when they come to the meeting. We ask for their name and, the street they live on or whatever. And I think that it would be valuable to have something like that in terms of the policy, that what we're asking people to do is identify themselves, because I guess I'm kind of a worst case scenario person where I try to think of all the things that could possibly, and, I think of some other communities that have had something terrible happen in their community and the whole country is thinking about it. And I would hate to think that, God forbid anything should happen in our city or in our area and have a deluge of comments that would take hours to read.
May I say, the person has to be disabled.
Ah, thank you.
Right.
Thank you,
Yes.
I appreciate
It
that.
has to be disabled.
It's not just random folks
Right.
saying, here's my
Yeah.
comment. You have to be disabled. So seeking their comment and say, I'm disabled, I can't leave my house, I'm on a ventilator, whatever. But yeah, not random comments.
Okay, so can we in fact put something, once again, I throw back to the website, put something where someone has to go in and identify your name, your disability, and then offer your comment, something that's prescribed for them to follow.
You could.
I'm wondering if that might not be a valuable method, rather than just, making it wide open.
I think we can narrow it
Yeah, I
down.
think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're just overthinking it right now. For one thing, as Jerry has brought out, and Councilwoman Regina, is that those two entities have monies and media centers. I mean, Detroit has their own channel, So we're nowhere near that. That is no way we can compare to that. So I think it gives us an opportunity to move forward and address a need that was brought to our attention. So now this is our response, and we should move forward with it. All right. The resolution, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman LaPrat,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G5, contract extension, miscellaneous concrete pavement repair program. Mayor and council attaches a correspondence from our city engineers regarding our miscellaneous concrete repair program. We have been reviewing an offer from L. Anthony Construction, who did last year's project, to honor their existing prices for an extension for 2025. By extending this contract, we save the cost of preparing new bid specifications, advertising, and other startup costs. Further, based on other recent bids, we do not feel that bidding will result in lower prices. This work is spread throughout the city, and contractors usually bid higher because of this, and it would not be cost-effective to rebid it. I have discussed this at length with the engineers and agree with their recommendation. We recommend that the modification be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
make the resolution to approve the contract modification in the amount not to exceed $340,000 with L. Anthony Construction for the 2025 miscellaneous concrete pavement repair program number 180-363.
Support.
All right. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Yes.
I just need just a little clarity. What is a mobilization fee in traffic control?
Heather?
The mobilization fee is for them to get all of their equipment together on site, get everything that they need to start the project. And traffic control is just that. It's signboards, flashers, all the equipment that it takes to keep their crew safe while they're performing that task.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Orange barrels.
All right, any further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, item G6, Michigan Department of Transportation contract sidewalk modernization project. Mayor and council attaches a contract with the Michigan Department of Transportation for the sidewalk modernization project. This project entails concrete sidewalk reconstruction around various streets citywide. As you recall, the total cost is estimated at $219,000 and provides for federal grant funds of $170,100 and a local match of $42,900. The contract has been approved for form, and it is requested that it be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the following contract with the Michigan Department of Transportation for the sidewalk modernization project consisting of concrete sidewalk reconstruction along various streets citywide. The total project cost is estimated at $219,000 and provides for federal funds of $170,100 and a local match of $42,900. MDOT contract number 25-5216, control section TAU 82000, job number 221328 con, and project number 25A0497, and further to authorize the mayor and the acting city manager to sign the contract.
Support.
Okay, any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
finally, we've been talking about this for a long time. It's great to see it come to fruition.
Well, great, thank you. Is there any other further discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay.
And that concludes the city manager's reports.
All right. This takes us to call the audience. 3 minutes. Identify yourself and have at it. Mr. Schinberg, are you coming? Mr. Schinberg is first.
That's fine.
Oh, but you walking without a cane.
You didn't notice that the last time? Really? I'm doing well. I just started lawns too. And this time I can have both hands on the lawnmower.
Okay, great.
I was at a informal meeting with Senator Hortel on Friday, and I'm wondering why none of you were there. Any one of you. They had them there from St. Clair Shores, East Point. A representative from all the cities was there. Quite a few of them. And it would be nice to bring back some of that information. Okay? I just mention it because quite a few different cities had a representative there. And he gave out a lot of good information. And it's
I know.
usually on his website as to when he's gonna have an open house or a meeting.
Well, just to let you know, we had just had a meeting with Senator Hertel earlier the week. So
Okay.
I don't have to double dip. I have a very good relationship with Senator Hertel.
Okay.
So,
All
yeah.
right.
We're not missing anything.
Okay, so, the other thing is, you were talking about disability. Just a little deal here, most of all of the stuff that goes on in the court is done with Zoom. You might wanna talk to them and how they do it, and how they're doing it, if they're doing it all the time. We just had somebody meet with the judge, and it was on Zoom. Most of the stuff is not being done in the courtroom. You might want to look into seeing how they're doing that in case it comes up.
2 different budgets.
Yeah, I believe that they have some special equipment from the state of Michigan.
Right.
Okay?
That we're not privy to.
Either that, or if they're teaching it over at the school, get them to bring in their students to do it. Just a spitballing. Music. Loud music. And I know he was up here the last meeting. It is becoming a problem, okay? Music is music, but when it takes and rattles my house, and
I
it's
agree.
on the other block, and I'm pretty lenient, you know, I wait till the time that we're supposed to, but we need to change the ordinance that I should be able to call if it's doing that to my house, okay? Just, you know. Oh, lawns. I know Heather and them are pretty busy, but you might want to give a thought to having a student for the summer, college student or something, hire them to do the ordinance on the, on lawns, because they're already getting out of hand.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Teresa. I live in Woodland. Over the past weekend, I again searched for the current listings in the classifieds to fill the position for permanent city manager. That included, again, Macomb Daily, Grosse Pointe News, Detroit Free Press, State of Michigan, Michigan Municipal League Classifieds, and Michigan Municipal Executives. Once again, no posted listing. At this time, I feel that I should again be mentioning that the most important decision any city council will make is the selection of a city manager. It's more important than any budget, general plan, or land use decision. Successful recruitment of a forward-thinking permanent city manager can help our city achieve its true potential. This should not be taken lightly or shelved until you think the city is ready. The city needs to be proactive and have a succession plan in place for the recruitment of an actual hiring of a permanent full-time city manager. A search process can take from 3 to 6 months, with one taking into consideration that the city has been saddled with an interim city manager for going on about 5 years now. Maybe it's time that the city should consider recruiting a professional recruiter. It would be taxpayer dollars well spent, and there are many benefits for doing this. Recruiters and search consultants have variable track records, knowledge of candidates, objectivity, and external expertise, and offer a greater comfort level for candidates. Many high-caliber city managers will not respond to advertisements posted in a city website. They must be recruited. One expert asserts that 75% of top candidates would not have applied for an open city management position if they had not been contacted by a recruiter. One key resource for finding city managers in your handout is Pivot Group Municipal Services. This organization specializes in public sector recruitment and may offer services related to city management placements. Additional tips for finding city manager positions in Michigan: utilize online job boards, websites like Indeed, which is also in your packet. Often list city manager positions in Michigan. I am willing to participate and offer my assistance in the search process involving this most important city position. Thank you.
Mayor, I'd like to make a comment.
Okay.
That we do have a group of applicants. One I just saw walk into city council, okay? And we are going to get a committee together of the council to review the applications. So we are being proactive, and we do have some qualified candidates. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. All right, next person, please step forward.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Terry Hughes. I stay on Washington Street. So today I come to you as to inform you that I'm a board member at Harperwood School. And today we had a ribbon cutting with Cornwell Community Health for our students in our community in Wayne County.
Can you speak it to the mic a little bit?
Can you hear me now? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So today we had a ribbon cutting at the high school for Cornwell Health Community. And I want to thank the mayor for showing up. And it's for students of the age 5 to 21. But if a students have a IEP, it's to 26. Also, it's free. You do not have to have insurance. And it's year-round. And they will have the information more so detailed posted on the school website. And also, I'm on the community relations department, myself and Ms. Tamron, and we are having an upcoming shredded event the end of May, and we will give you more information about that. So please get your papers ready to get shredded. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Put that on the website.
Okay. Hi, Juanita Woodmont. Hey, this is regarding the disabled. Okay, I know there's a lot of technology involved. I don't expect everything to go through, but this is regarding anybody that's hearing impaired. If there's a possible way that we could have a sign language interpreter, a screening if they can't hear so they can read the agenda or what's going on, they can keep track. Of course they can read, but they'll know when they're able to talk. People that are blind, they can't naturally, unless they have transportation, they can't drive. So there's a way, I don't know how it works, where they could get a computer device at their home.
Yes.
And they can hear.
Right.
So that would be something.
I belong to the Lions Club, and quite a few of my members are blind. In
Okay.
fact, my past president, and she also can read her emails. So
Oh.
she can read anything that she chooses to read. It's an
Yeah.
adaptability to her computer.
Right.
So we
Yeah.
we address all the disabilities.
Yeah, that's what we did with the government where I worked. We had all of that, and that'll also be good for people that are on oxygen, can't drive, and things like that. And then one other thing is the library. I went to go and give. This was several years ago. Books that I don't need. They will only take used books. That's what they told me. They would. I had wonderful books. They will not take them. I don't know why, and they were in excellent condition. Now, one thing I want to know, what was being brought up about the sidewalks where you mentioned, what sidewalks are you talking about? The street sidewalks,
All through the city.
so,
There's gonna be a big sidewalk program
Right.
commencing pretty soon, throughout the whole city.
Okay, and who's-
And sewers, and I wanna say catch basins, and tree trimming and everything else.
Okay.
Once the weather starts breaking like this, you're gonna see a lot of orange barrels and things throughout the city.
okay, is that going to be where they're going to fix the ones that I brought up in
Yeah,
the
that
past?
are
where
heaved up because of tree,
they're-
yes,
they're
yes.
tripped, and some of them
Yeah.
are, because of the trees, the ground is sinking, it's just natural.
Yeah.
The ground sinks, and then you slide as you're walking, and if there's snow, you don't see the ice, things like that. Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Andrew Seibert. I'm over on Woodside. I just wanted to thank you. You mentioned earlier that I'm joining the Harper Woods Library Board. I'm looking forward to going through that process and helping out the local library to the best that I can. But also you mentioned that you're interested in maybe updating the website and updating your abilities. I have an experience. I'm a full stack developer. I have experience with working with websites and streaming abilities. Feel free to reach out to me if you're interested in my services. And that's all I wanted to point out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Taburn.
Reginald Taburn, Rose Court. Just wanted to add on what Terry Hughes mentioned. We honored one of our former board members, Joan Menino, who dedicated 30 years of service on the school board, and we named that area after her, and she was amazed.
Yes,
It was a proud moment to see her light up, and you can see that I said, Mama Menino, I call Mama Menino. I said, you made a legacy. You left behind something that we will cherish because of your dedication and devotion to the school board. And also, my wife and I, we joined the Lions Club. And one event coming up soon is the White Cane event. So we are hoping that many of you will contribute and give and help support the Lions Clubs, because we're going to be out on the street real soon. Thank you.
White Cane. And Reggie and his wife just were inducted into the Lions Club for Grosse Pointe Harper Woods over the weekend at the National Convention.
Hello, April Martin, Hunt Club. Just a reminder, I am the chairperson for the Harper Woods Beautification Commission, so I just wanted to remind residents that even though Earth Day is tomorrow, the 22nd, that we have an event on the 26th here at City Hall in front from 10 to 12. So even if you can't support, do something in your neighborhood, or you want to support to keep Harper Woods beautiful, I highly encourage everyone to show up, participate. I know we have quite a few people that have already showed up. Last year we had folks that showed up as well. We even had a new member for the commission show up, and that's how she became a member. she was at the Earth Day event. So just a reminder to all the council members and to our audience, and for those that will probably see this videotape live, or videotaped rather, just a reminder that the Earth Day cleanup is this Saturday. Also, the commission events are posted on the city website, so thank you, Leslie. So all the events are posted on the city's website under the calendar. So if you have questions, you want to see the flyer, you want to reach out to us, etc., make sure you go to the website and look there as well. Thanks.
What time does it start?
Oh, sorry. It's from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. We'll be here a little bit early because we do have some students from Harper Woods High School as well as Grosse Pointe North that will be supporting and helping us with the volunteer effort.
All right, thank you very much. All right, is anyone else from the audience? Everyone. Okay, let's start with Cheryl Constantino.
I don't have a lot to say, but I am pretty excited that we accomplished so much in a short meeting today. We got our sidewalk modernization passed through, so you can look forward to that happening. Updated sidewalks, pavement repair, our disabled persons accommodations. I'm pretty excited about that. Device payments, finally we're in the current century. We got 3 great new people appointed to boards and commissions. So I think we're having a pretty good meeting today. And it's one of those days where I'm proud to be part of the council because we're getting stuff done.
Okay, you know what? I've really been neglectful and I forgot. Safe Built is here. You're sitting behind and I could not see you, Jim.
He's hiding.
No, he's not hiding. Jim, would you like to say a few words about Safe Built and exactly so people get maybe a better understanding of what our relationship between Safe Built and the city is?
Well, basically, Safe Built, we run your building department, and we pretty much, different municipalities hire Safe Built as the need for the city. Some municipalities may only need building inspectors, an electrical inspector, and maybe a plumbing inspector. In Harper Woods, we do pretty much everything. We do code enforcement, rentals, C of Os, building, plumbing, electrical, mechanical. And at the last meeting, there was some talk of our billing. And basically, our last month's billing was $58,000. Usually, the billing from Safe Built, on average, is between 30 and 40. So when you see a bill come in at $58,000, you probably wonder why. And the reason why is the North Point development is now starting to get tenants. So those buildings were built as a white box, which means they're basically empty on the inside, to make you understand. So currently in building 2, well, let's start with building 1. Building 1 is up and running. It's occupied in its entirety, which is 300,000 square feet, by a company called Thai Summit, and they do a lot of pressing and stuff for the automobile industry. Building 2, which is 535,000 square feet, to get tenants in there, they had a tenant that only needed half of that building. So they split the building in half. The permit that increased last month's billing, they pulled a permit for, the permit was $33,000. So if you take the $33,000 off the $58,000 we billed, we would be right back into the average that we usually bill for. But it's a big job. They're adding 13,000 square feet of office space, restroom, break rooms, a demising wall which will separate the interior of the structure, dock modifications. So they're rehabbing the inside of but not rehabbing the inside, but doing a punch out to accommodate what they need to run their operation. Just within the last day or two, I heard from Mark Hornacek that they have a tenant for the other half of number 2, but he can't disclose who that is. at this point, but they are under contract to occupy the other half of number 2. So when that happens, there's also going to be large permits to do the punch out in the interior of the other half. Currently in building 3, they broke that building in half too, because they had a tenant that didn't need the whole 207,000 square feet. So Temco Logistics came in there and they supply deliveries for Home Depot. So they split that building in half, and they still have half of that building open for occupancy. But basically, out of the 3 buildings, 1 is totally occupied, 2 is going to be occupied. They're under contract on the second half. And building 3 is occupied by half of the square footage. But as they punch these buildings out, there are going to be large permits. It's just, I mean, they're doing a lot. They're trying to accommodate all the people that are going to work the assembly line in there. You know, they have break rooms and restrooms, and you, based on the occupant load, you need a certain amount of toilets and, you know, water closets, whatever you want to refer them to. But then a young lady was up here. Corwell Health came in, the school district here not too long ago. Beautiful facility over there. What they're doing at the school is they're really, really doing a good job. They're bringing in some really nice amenities, I think, for the city. They're currently planning a locker room, which is quite a large building at the end of the football field. That's pretty much a go. It's just going through some engineering, which is, they got to clear up just like site utilities underground and stuff. But that project's $2.6 million, so that's going to be a big permit. You got the community center on the other side of town that's going to be going in. You got the Poupard. There's a lot going on here. So your permits, the billing is going to go up because it all needs to be inspected and approved and so on and so forth. And I don't know what else you really want me to speak on. Do you have any questions?
Madam Mayor? I think it will help the community to understand that the city is not by law permitted to make all kinds of money off of these permits.
We can't.
No, and I think that a lot of people think that we bring Safe Built in and we're paying out all this money to Safe Built, but they don't see that, you know, the builders and, you know, all of this are who's paying those costs.
Right.
It's going through the city.
Right.
But we're not making all kinds of money on this either. So I think that's helpful, you know, to mention that you're doing the work for us.
So building departments are really not intended to make money in a municipality. They're supposed to make enough money to keep their operation going. Is basically, they're not here for profit. When we build a city, you know, we submit like 40 pages, and it shows every single address for a rental inspection, a C of O inspection, a fence permit. I mean, it's got everything in here. It's not like we just come up with a number and send you a bill. So, I mean, it's itemized when we send the bill to the upstairs.
Okay.
And I'd like to add a few things too. We do get a nice sizable return on some of those permits. I'm not going to divulge, you know, the exact amount of money, but it's because we get a commission, a cut, whatever you want to say, off of these permits. And with all the building going on, the Detroit News has even contacted us because they have heard of all the good things that are going on in the city of Harper Woods. And I just got done with a reporter.
Yeah,
So we're making a name for ourselves.
Yeah, well, the money, you guys are wise with like the percentage that you're getting, you know, it's helped do the egress windows through the building department and that you're building, and some of the fenestration, the glass replacement, you know, and carpeting and stuff like that. That can all be allocated towards, you know, out of those funds, so.
And the property values are rising because we have permits on properties too.
We, at the beginning of every month, we have like a tickler. It pops up and it's internal references, and basically it's everything that's expired. And most of them are like rentals. When I first came here in 2015, they would print out at the beginning of the month internal references, and there would be like 40 of them. And I would go through them and see who, if they re-registered for the next 3-year cycle. And back then, out of, hypothetically, let's say there was 30, probably 5 of them actually took the initiative to register their rentals without us hawking them, per se. Recently, 30 of them I seen, there was 3. 27 properties out of 30 had already came in and applied for their rental registration renewal for the next 3-year cycle. Because we're sending letters and staying on people and doing what we're here to do, just make them compliant.
Madam Mayor?
Tara, is there anything you would like to add, since you are the voice that most people hear?
No. And anything to do with billing, I mean, if there is ever a specific question that the council wants to know, we have no problem with answering them.
Tara does all the billing and very, very good at it. That's why I brought her, 'cause if there was a specifics to the billing, she would be
Right.
the person to ask.
One other question. I know that sometimes we've gotten complaints from residents saying that our ordinances aren't being enforced enough. If someone notices something, like gutters falling off a house, or, you know, damage on a garage door that, you know, is clearly
Missing.
an issue, should they bring that to your attention? Is that
Yes.
something that you would handle then?
Yeah, either email, phone call, anything like that, and then our code enforcement officer has to physically go there to see, and then from there, then we start the enforcement.
All right, very good. So, and they just get in touch with the building department in Harper Woods. I mean, that's the way they get in touch with you.
Yeah, and we have
All right, very
72
good.
hours.
Yeah,
Jerry?
So in the contract, anytime there's a complaint or a request, there is a 72-hour. I've been here since 2015. We usually do it the same day or the next day. We don't wait 72 hours and say, oh, we can wait. We're out there on it. And, you know, we got Gabriel and Greg McBriar and myself, and we don't see everything. You know, we're not perfect. You know, there's people come to us and it's like, oh yeah, that's a problem. But we also face challenges in the community with people that financially can't do some things or physically can't do some things. We had a gal not too long ago, Ivory, reached out to me, and she's a little bit older, but she had just lost her aging parents, and so now she has no additional income from their incomes, and she's just barely getting by. So I reached out to Irma Hayes, and Irma put me in contact with an organization that's gonna help her out. So it's not always the easiest thing. You know, we got some roofs that need to be repaired, and they don't have the money to do it. It's, you know, I mean, and for me to write them a ticket,
Right.
where's that get? That's only making it worse for them. So
And I'm
we try-
grateful
we
that
try
we
to-
were able
we
to
try
reach out.
reach,
Yes.
You know, there's contractors in the city that, you know, help out and do things. We had a gentleman that didn't have a garage door on Woodside, and lo and behold, about a week later, there's a guy who wanted to raise his garage up 1 block to make his garage door 8 feet. So I said to him, I said, what are you doing with the old garage door? And it was in perfect shape, 7-foot door. He said, not why, what do you think? And I said, well, there's a guy, I go, what do you want for it? He goes, come and get it. So I reached out to a contractor in the city who came and took the door down for free and delivered it, and the homeowner installed it over on Woodside. So I mean,
Thank you.
there's challenges here. I mean, there's financial challenges, there's mental challenges. We have people that have mental issues in the city that, you know, we got hoarders that don't see their problem, and, you know, we reach out to, you know, adult protective services and different things, and it's not always a fast process, but we do our best.
Well, I know I've sent you a couple emails, and within 24 hours, the problem was addressed. So the best, are you out just driving around looking for ordinance violations, or is there a time constraint on your services that we need the residents really to be contacting you? And, you know, I mean, you can't see everything. You're not gonna see a gutter hanging off the back of somebody's garage, which we don't have drone footage of. So,
Correct.
But, you know, so is the best way to try to get some, I mean, that's the biggest complaint is no one, of course, we know that's not true, that not all ordinances are being addressed. So what's the best way to tell the residents to get these ordinances taken care of?
I say they have it documented.
Yeah, if they notice something, just make a phone call to the building department, and it goes and we're out, we go out and look
Or
at it.
any department.
'Cause I still go out, I'm the building official, but I still do rental inspections, I'll go in backyards and I'll look at, oh my gosh, look at the garage behind it. So I'll drive around the block, get the address, send them a letter, you know, we don't just bang on their door and threaten them, we send them a letter, and then we put a tickler in for 2 weeks out. And if we don't hear from them in 2 weeks, then they get a second letter saying, hey, you got 7 days. You know, then we figure out what's going on, do we need to write them a ticket, or do we try to work with them? If people work with us, we're willing to work with them. It's when people ignore us that there becomes a problem. They get, you know, they're gonna get ticketed.
And I would assume that all departments, if it's, somebody calls Safe Built and says, my neighbor didn't cut their grass, you're gonna get a hold of DPW and let them, and you know, that everybody's communicating with each other. Because not every job goes to Safe Built, not everything goes to DPW, not everything goes to our police officers, but that you all communicate, and that if everybody did a better job of making our community better.
Yeah. Actually, I feel that there is good communication between the departments. I talk to Heather and Marjorie pretty much every day. I mean,
Good.
I see a leaning telephone pole and Marjorie answers. I said, I'm not trying to, there's a pole leaning or the wire's a little down. I'm not saying you gotta get there immediately, but, you know, or somebody evicts somebody and dumps everything on the boulevard. Just let them know it's out there and, they go post the house and then, certain departments have certain responsibilities, like the DPW does do the grass more so than us, but we don't ignore if we see, like if we're doing a rental inspection and we see, well, it gets written up, or abandoned cars. Usually vehicles is the police department because they have the computer system to run the VIN to see if it's stolen or if it belongs to the property. But just because they usually do it doesn't mean we don't do it. If we go in the backyard and the car's up on blocks and there's no tires on it, it's getting written up to get removed. Or we make them stuff it in the garage and shut the door.
And one other thing, if we know that a house is a rental, or we have people in the audience or sitting at home that are renting a home, and they want to make sure that it's been inspected, how would they find out?
They can also look on BSA.
Okay.
BSA online, if they search the address, they can look under certificates to see it also. But when people call, we check in. We won't give them out, obviously, all the information for it, but if that property specifically doesn't, we'll have Greg write it up.
Okay. Well, thank you guys very much.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Tara.
Okay, that takes us to you, Mr. Toussaint.
Well, nothing much here. I hope everybody had a nice, happy Easter. And did have the opportunity to go to a retirement party at DPW for one of our workers who has been with us, I think, for 30 or 40 years. Can't remember how long it was, but I was very happy to be a part of celebrating and thanking him for all the work that he's done for us through all those many years.
All right. I wanted to mention, I know that we just put a few people on the boards and commissions, and I wanted to mention that we still have openings on some of our boards and commissions. And so if you're not involved in the community and you have the ability, the Zoning Appeals Board, the Brownfield Authority Board, the Beautification Commission, and the Planning Commission could all use people involved in those particular areas. The descriptions of those boards and commissions are on our website. Under government, you'll see boards and commissions, and you can look at the openings on those, as well as descriptions of those boards and commissions, and I encourage people to get involved. Besides that, I did want to mention, I assume the Planning Commission will be reviewing plans for the community center when that, at that appropriate time when that's ready. And I was able to view the Pocket Park plans. I thought that they looked really good because they're very much in line with what people that were involved in The Pocket Park members of the community came out and gave their input, and it looks very much like the design that, that was being done at the meeting. And so I was pretty excited to see that happening, and I'm hoping that we're breaking ground on that project in the near future. I had the opportunity to speak with our representative, and she expressed some concern that if we don't start using the money soon, it might not be there. And that's because of what's happening at the state level. And so I just kind of want to encourage us to you know, break ground on that project and use the money that the state has available before it disappears because of the way that politics is operating right now.
Well, that's why we hopefully that our representative will be able to stand hold on what we've already accomplished.
She says she's trying right now, but she really needs us to start our project. So I just wanted to give a heads up on that. Thank you.
All right, Tom?
Just really quick, with construction season right around the corner, with it getting warmer out, just please, if you can avoid the street, if they're working on it, avoid it, or very, very slow down it, please. The equipment, you can't hear a lot of things when people are showing up, so just take into account that they're out there working for us, and just take it easy around them, okay?
April talked about the cleanup, which is from 10 to 12, and then the library's having a book sale
Right.
that same day, starting at noon. So come clean up around City Hall, down the
Go
freeway,
get a book.
and wherever else. The more people we get, the more areas we can clean up, and then you can head over to the library and buy some books. I know Senator Hertel pretty well, and his aide Amanda. So don't worry, we are talking to him. I had another commitment. Normally I would go to that, but I had another commitment. It was Good Friday on Friday. So, and then I just want to acknowledge that Pope Francis passed away this morning. I know that we're not a religious organization, but he was a good man, and just want to acknowledge that.
Good evening, everyone. Just a few things. I do look forward to Earth Day or Cleanup Day on the 26th from 10 to 2. The sidewalk repair, I'm hoping this is like phase 2, where they're doing all the rest of the sidewalks in the city, or was this the first
This is,
phase?
actually, it's gonna be like 2 years, this year and next year. Yeah, I wanna say the heaved sidewalks are going to get done.
First.
Yes, first, and then general repairs. And whatever we don't accomplish this year, next year, we're gonna tackle that part.
Okay.
Like to do it all in one season, but can't. It's just too much.
And some, like the dedication to Joan, I would have liked to have been there. I think it would have been nice if, I don't know if I missed it in an email, but I don't think we get some of these notifications. So, you know, because I've known Joan for many years when I was on the school board. And so that would have been nice to attend, but I just don't think we're getting all of these invites that people say. And I also would like to thank the Harper Woods Police Department. My neighbor had an issue, a fire, and the police came out, and the officer stayed with her for quite a while, and it helped to calm her down and wait until other people came. So that it was really nice that he stayed as long as he did, because he stayed quite a long time. So I do appreciate that. Thank you.
Is that it?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty then. Well, you know, I failed to mention when we were doing our silent about Pope Francis, and in my lifetime, he is one of the first popes that I really felt a real connection with, although I'm not Catholic. But I felt he was really the people's pope, and I'm really saddened that he passed. And I'm sorry that he suffered you know, quite a bit in these last few months. But I just want to say rest in peace, and a job well done, because, like I said, he's the first pope that I ever felt a connection with, and I'm not even Catholic, so I can imagine those that are Catholic, how you felt about your pope. Also, the ribbon cutting today was mentioned, and Caldwell, Susie Burchak was the one who invited me to come and attend, and Susie and I have worked years and years over things, so I'm sorry you guys didn't get the invite, but I guess from now on, when I have things like that, I need to reach out to you, rest of you. I promise I'll do better. I also have a water conference in May. I've been invited to come to Milwaukee to discuss water for the Great Lakes, along with, what do they call it now? Detroit Water,
GLWA.
Quality.
GLWA.
Oh, yeah, GLWA is also a part of this conference, and and they want me to discuss Milk River.
That's the right person.
They may not really want, they may not really want me to be there to discuss it, but anyway, I'll be going sometime in May. I can't remember the dates right now, mid-May, and it'll be for an overnight thing. Because I'm certainly not driving to Milwaukee and coming right back, that's for sure. Anyway, other than that, I just want to say thank you, people, for being good citizens. And if we could only be the best when we all participate and be good citizens. And that includes you, Mrs. Sandberg. And I missed you. You haven't been here for a little bit, but I'm glad you're back. No, I hold that. I hold that. I'll hold that. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Well, congratulations. All right. Mr. Jennings.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to make the motion for adjournment.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.